Let me just add one more thing to what I was saying earlier. And I knew as I was talking, I knew I had forgotten something. But then I thought to myself, no, I seem to have covered everything that I was wanting to say. And then I realized later that no, actually, the main thing that I wanted to say, the thing that really I felt most eager to say, that interestingly got submerged because I was so distracted by Mark Levin's sinister voice and words. Here's what I don't understand at all. There's so much talk about platforming. Oh, how could you platform someone like that? How could you give a platform? You know, uh, people never used to talk that way. They never used to talk about plat- platforming a person who's not someone that ought to be heard or seen or you know not before the last 10 years or so, maybe 15 years at most. I'd never heard this term platforming uh, used. And when it's used, it's always used to criticize someone. It's used to criticize the host, let's say the host of a show, in this case, Tucker Carlson, for platforming someone like Nick Fuentes, right? I mean, I just cannot understand, I cannot relate to the the objection that anyone would have to anyone being platformed. I don't care if the worst person in the world, if somebody whom I despise, somebody whom I loathe, uh, is platformed. Why should I care about that? What does that matter? So I mean, I'm trying to think about the public figures that I dislike the most. If someone interviewed Fauci, if someone interviewed Hillary Clinton, if someone interviewed, uh, you know, I don't know, so some people along those lines, people whom I consider to be just completely evil, and they have been platformed many a time, and probably worse people than them have been platformed many a time. I mean, the Mark Levins of the world, and it's mostly people on the left who talk this way, but it's also the Zionist types on the Republican side who are upset about Zionism losing its luster on the right, who are now talking this way, or who have been talking this way, but now are talking this way with a vengeance. You know, they speak as if there are certain people who you shouldn't allow them access to I don't know a platform, right? Platform meaning a facility, something that facilitates getting your voice out in a way that people can hear you speak. That opens up the airwaves and your voice, your message enters more people's consciousness than it would otherwise. I don't. There's nobody who I think is so. I just don't think in those terms. I mean, I don't think that. I think if somebody is evil and has evil thoughts and is spreading uh, an evil message, that message is getting out there one way or another. And I don't think to myself, no, so and so person. Don't let this person talk to a large audience of people where they will hear his words and perhaps be seduced by them to the dark side. That seems to be what this whole effort to deplatform or cancel is all about. It's about trying to trying to control what people can hear and what they can't hear. It's about trying to limit what what ideas are permissible to be heard versus what ideas are not permissible to be heard. I don't care. I don't care. I've never cared. Is there something? Am I missing something? Am I missing something? You know, I don't think I am. Because I honestly can't think of anybody. I can't think of anybody, no matter how abhorrent they are, and no matter how abhorrent their views may be. There's nobody that if I heard, oh, so and so podcast had this evil person X or Y on his podcast, which enabled millions of people to hear what this person was saying. I mean, I guess I don't think that. Number one, I don't get too uptight about that sort of thing because these ideas are already out there. Bad ideas and good ideas and mediocre ideas are already out there. If you don't hear them from someone, you're going to hear them from someone else, right? And if somebody's got really bad ideas, then let's hear those bad ideas and let's hear someone be enabled to refute those bad ideas. The whole marketplace of ideas notion is one that I think sits pretty well with me. But the whole idea, the whole notion of control of getting mad at someone who agrees to act as a conduit through which somebody else can maybe talk to a wider audience. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get what's so horrible and awful and despicable about that. So it always goes like this censorious mindset. It never limits itself just to people who have, let's say, opinion X that is considered beyond the pale and must not be must not be expressed, like during 2020 and 2021 when you couldn't say anything besides the mainstream ideas about what was going on, or else you'd get kicked off social media, right? And even famous people, even influential people, even people who are now who are now part of the current administration. Even one person who is now a part of the current administration. In fact, even the person who's now the president was had received treatment like that on social media. They were excluded. They were kicked off. They were not allowed to be on because they were just seen as being beyond the pale. But it's never contained to just one person. That's I think there's something really insidious about those who have this, those who like Mark Levin have this censorious mindset that if you're if you're not with us, then we're gonna make a list of you and come after you with all of the power and all of the everything that we have at our disposal that will absolutely be able to crush you. But again, don't say that our ethnic group is disproportionately powerful, because that's an anti-Semitic trope. Even as we threaten to use all of our power and influence to crush you, right? Again, can't have it both ways. Sorry, man. Um, but it's never limited to just one person. It's like, in this case, Fuentes is the bad guy, right? In these people's minds. But then Tucker Carlson becomes also the bad guy for facilitating Fuentes. So the guy who lets the other guy get on his show, which has a large audience, and talk to a bunch of people, is now to be held is now to be scolded and held in contempt just for having somebody on his show. You know, just for having somebody on his show with objectionable opinions. In the minds of some. And then what about the people who still like? So now what about everybody else who are guests on Tucker Carlson's show? What about everybody else who watches Tucker Carlson? What about? I mean, what about the people who are adjacent to Tucker Carlson? Are they all going to be smeared with the same broad brush of suspicion, right? They are. They are. That's the way this whole dynamic works. If you're not the guy who they think is the bad guy, then you're the guy who's just as bad because you facilitated the bad guy from, and I'm saying bad guy in quotation marks. I don't think Nick Fuentes is a bad guy. There are things that I'm not crazy about him, but I do generally like him. But if you're the guy who helps the bad guy reach a bunch of people through the platform that you have, then your platform becomes suspect. You become suspect. Everybody else who's been on the platform with you and who is on the platform with you in the future also likewise becomes suspect, just because of proximity. And it just never ends. It never ends. So I just want to say I don't get it. I don't get it. And I'm consistent here because there's nobody. You can't make me hate somebody for putting a microphone in the face of somebody that I hate, right? Or somebody that I find objectionable or evil, or has evil opinions or evil beliefs or ideas. That's not where the problem lies. The problem lies in the ideas themselves and the need to defeat those ideas. It's not about individuals who are who are again serving as conduits for those ideas. That's why I can't get excited. I can't get all hot and bothered over this controversies about people being platformed. And I think it's totally gay and stupid. And that's where I'll end this.